Hey guys, I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. So welcome to today's daily dose of awesome, your 15 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education to get your day and your business moving and grooving. So if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Tracy Chalmers and I'm a mentor here in the community. And if we know each other, hop on, say hi, let me know you're here. But if we are meeting, definitely let me know where you're coming in from so I can give you a virtual high five later on. So let's talk about reverse engineering and starting with the end in mind. Now, if you were on my daily dose last week, gosh, was it maybe Tuesday? I was talking about being an overwhelmed hot mess. And through that conversation, last week's daily dose, I talked just briefly, ever so briefly, about reverse engineering. Well, that had a huge tidal wave of people messaging me, and I think a few of you even commented on the video last week about more detail around reverse engineering. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let's talk about that today. So as you're hopping on, come in and say hello. Hey, Noella, nice to see you. Good, I'm glad the sound's working. I'm glad everything's working. People are hopping on. That's always a good thing, right? So let's talk about reverse engineering. And sort of starting with the end in mind when you are building a plan or setting goals or, you know, even constructing things like your ads and your blogs and everything. And I'll get to that in a minute, okay? Hello, Veronica. How you doing? Let me know where you guys are coming in from. I'm curious to see where the followers are today, where the viewers are coming in from today. So I went to Wikipedia. I went to the Google, because we go to the Google, right? And I wrote down what Wikipedia says is reverse engineer. So it's the process of discovering the technological principles of a device, object, or system through analysis of its structure, function, and operation. It often involves taking something apart and analyzing its workings in detail. So that is from Wikipedia, and I wanted to chat about that today. So, you know, whenever I have a task that I want to accomplish or a goal that I've set for myself, I always think about what it will look like in the end. So what exactly I want as the outcome. Okay, so that is something that you want to think about. You want an outcome and you want it to have a deadline, because if it doesn't have a deadline, it's just a hope. It's not a goal. All right, if it doesn't have a deadline. And I think having a deadline does a couple of things. It has an end result, a time frame from which to work and reverse engineer, but it also sets it in your head that it's a goal, it's a deadline, it's a project that must be accomplished, as opposed to just a wishy-washy hope that someday, maybe, hopefully, you know, occasionally, hopefully I'll achieve it kind of thing. So whenever I'm looking at what it is that I want to accomplish, whether it is so many leads by a certain date, or perhaps certain sales by a certain amount of time, or perhaps a product that you're working on, or your own blog post that you're working on, or an ad that you're working on, whatever you're crafting, make sure it has some sort of end date, okay? And then we're gonna work backwards from there. So as you're hopping on, make sure you're saying hello. Okay, good, we've got some Sarasota Springs, Ohio. Hi, Jan, nice for hopping on for me. Tomas, hey, how's it going? It's nice to see you all on here. So let's take apart our goals and work backwards, okay? So whatever you want to accomplish, you want to figure it out backwards. So there's 4 keys to success that I really want you to think about. It's 4 keys to engineering it backwards success, reverse engineering. So let's think about simple things, like let's say you want to rank advance. Let's say you want to achieve 2 ranks by September or October. So a 90-day goal, for example. Or maybe you're planning a holiday for your family and you want to save enough money to actually go on that holiday. Or you're looking to lose weight. I've just made some notes here because I really want to talk about these 4 keys. Perhaps you want to gain, 20 really qualified leads here within our system. So you need to have something very specific in mind to reverse engineer it. And the 4 keys will help you do that. So key number one, determine the most basic level of the goal. So you want to establish your end game metrics. You want to have the metrics at the end that will be indicative, that will actually tell you you've achieved your goal. 10 new leads, 2 new prospects, 1 rank advance, $5,000 to go on a holiday, 10 pounds, okay? So end metrics that will help you assess your goal. Hi, Beth. Nice to see you. Hi, Jan. Hope you're doing well. So let me know if these keys that I'm giving you are going to be useful and impactful into your business to help you reverse engineer what it is that you're after. So once you've established your end game and your metrics, that's where you're really going to set your goal, right? And I'm not going to talk about SMART goals today because that's a conversation for another day. And if you're in the fast track workshops, there's, we talk at length about SMART goals and the details around that. So I won't go into that today, but you definitely want to have those end game metrics lined up, okay? Now, number 2, you want to ensure that you're committed. That is part of that deadline that I talked about a few moments ago. Because if you're not fully committed, your goal is just wishy-washy. If there isn't a deadline, you're not committed. If you really want something, but yet you're not going to really go after it, that's not being committed. You need to have a time frame around it, and you need to be accountable to it. All right? So that's the second key to reverse engineering. Now, the third key is identify as many steps as possible in your path, in your action plan, okay? What do you need to reach that goal? So starting right from the very beginning, think about all the things that you need. Well, I need to, write an ad. I need to get some leads into that business. I need to get some real customers. I need to get a gym membership. I need to figure out how much flights are to Fiji so that I know how much I need to save. Whatever it is, think about all the different steps that you need to get to your goal, okay? And you need a deadline. So by October 30th, I will have achieved this, and this, okay? And lay them all out. Identify everything that you can identify and then put them in a sequential order. Now, you definitely want to start working backwards. So for example, and if you have any ideas of things that you want, maybe I can offer you a few ideas to help you reverse engineer. If you have something you're struggling with, pop it in the comments. And if I have time at the end, I will try and off the top of my head help you reverse engineer it. All right? So if you have something like that, let me know. But let's think about October 30th and you want to fly to Fiji, but you don't really have enough money yet. So you're going to work towards saving that. So you're going to backdate it and you're going to think about all the steps you need to take to get you to today's date that will actually build you the blueprint to reverse engineer your plan to achieve the October 30th date of booking a flight to Fiji. Okay? So that's what you want to think about. Let's think about for a minute, gaining leads here within EMP. You want to, let's say you want to have, 10 solid, highly qualified leads by the end of September. And not just wishy-washy leads, but people who are actually committed and highly qualified. So by the end of September, you want 10 leads. Well, what is the process you're going to take them through? We know that highly qualified leads actually say small yeses, give small yeses throughout the journey. So when you're looking at a blog post that you want, oops, sorry, telephone call came in. Eek, sorry about that, you guys. Hey, Jennifer, nice to see you on here. So if we're going to go after some really highly qualified leads, we want to look with the end in mind. That's how we want to start this process. So let's look at the blog post. And you're going to choose or write a blog post that really speaks to the product that you want to go after. So let's say you want to share the Attraction Marketing Formula. Nothing like during the phone call during your lives. I know, right? Exactly. Like always something. But you just go with it. You wing it, right? So you want to look at whatever product it is that you want to promote. Maybe you want to promote the Attraction Marketing Formula. Maybe it's the LinkedIn Playbook. Maybe it's Social Media Recruiter. So you're going to look with the end in mind. You want leads opting into your attraction marketing funnel, for example, okay? So you're going to look at that end product. Then you're going to look at a blog post that nurtures and supports and promotes that and adds value towards that product. Yeah, you definitely want leads opting in, exactly. So you want to make sure that the blog post adds value around the product you're promoting. It needs to be congruent, right? So you choose a blog post or write a blog post that supports that. And then you take it back another step, right? So you look at the ad that then you run on Facebook that really speaks to that blog post. You think about your target audience, you think about your avatar, and you write ad copy, and you choose a picture that then is congruent to that blog post, which then is congruent to the opt-in that you're seeking. Whether it's Attraction Marketing Formula, LinkedIn, your own product, whatever it may be. So do you see how we're working backwards to create the ad copy and choose the photo that would best resonate, best speak to your end goal in mind, being 10 highly qualified opt-ins, leads? Okay, is this making sense? Give me a 1 in the comments if this is all making sense so far. So you're always planning your post, your writing, your copy, your strategic, curiosity posts with the end result in mind. All right. Now you want to speak to your target audience. You want to speak to your avatar, but you want to do it with congruency throughout your entire funnel. Your funnel does not end when the person opts in. And that is something that you need to keep in mind. You know, I was just mentoring on the Fast Track webinar last week, and that is something that struck me where I noticed a few people really aren't considering their entire funnel when they're building their system. So you need to think about the entire system, your ad, through to the blog post, through to the opt-in, through to your thank you page, through to your follow-up, through to your sequence. That is a complete funnel. So to have those highly qualified leads at the end, you need to think about the start, the beginning. Where do you start? And that is where you really fine-tune, tweak, and hone the skills necessary to work through to the end result that you're after. So Jan is saying this is the one time, 1 step forward and 2 steps back is a good thing because you're evaluating through the process, right, Jan? You're really making decisions based on the data you have and the end result you're after. You're not just wishy-washy, right? And EMP is a very important piece of the puzzle because we teach you this stuff. And that's what's really exciting and unique about our system here. So let's get back to our example. Then you start writing that blog, that ad based on all the pieces you've already evaluated and identified as part of your overall picture. You look for the end game and you work backwards. Exactly. And my 4th key today on this is take action. Take action. Too many people are identifying what it is they want, but then they fall short and they don't actually implement it. They don't actually put it into action, and they don't reverse engineer it so that they know what their steps are bit by bit by bit as they work towards their start date, which is today. So take action. Get your butt in gear, for crying out loud, right? What have you got to lose? What have you got to gain? And that is what you really need to think about. So once you have that reverse engineered process, put it into action, get your butt into gear. So maybe that's even the most important key in this, process, is just put yourself into action. It doesn't need to be perfect, because that allows you to evaluate. That allows you to tweak and adjust and use the data you have gathered through the process to make some changes and make some evaluation decisions, okay? Now, I want to draw your attention for a minute to, and it just popped into my head, so I want to think about this. The income calculator in the Ignition training modules. That was a perfect example of reverse engineering where you want to be 6 months from now, for example. Go back into the Ignition training modules under My Coaching in your back office and look at that income calculator once again, okay? Because that will reverse engineer your goals. It boils down to how much money do you need for blah, blah, whatever it is, down to how many leads per day, right down to how many opt-ins, right? So that reverse engineers so that you know what you need to be achieving and doing on a daily basis to meet your end result, to meet your goal. So go back to that income calculator and have a peek at that again. And that's a live, working tool that is available to you as well, all right? So you really want to have the congruency throughout your entire message, start to finish. You want to have congruency throughout your entire action plan. And you need to reverse engineer it so that you can build congruency right from day one. Now, I hope that's been helpful. I know a few of you reached out to me and asked for more clarity around reverse engineering and how you can actually implement it into our business and what we do on a day-to-day basis. So I hope that answered that for you. And I hope that was helpful and gave you just another strategy that you can implement thinking about what we do here at Elite Marketing Pro. So I hope that was helpful. Oh, good, Jennifer. I'm glad it was. I'm glad to hear it was helpful. And I really look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. And I know tomorrow we've got another incredible mentor coming on. Alrighty, guys. See you later. Bye.